No one was prepared for the moment Amy turned around and saw him standing there. The man she had mourned, the love she had buried deep in her heart. Ty Borden, back from the past, not in a memory, not in a dream, but real, breathing, standing in front of her. In that heartbeat, everything Amy had built began to tremble. Fans have waited for this, some with hope, some with disbelief, and now the impossible has arrived. But behind this emotional reunion lies a storm of unanswered questions, buried pain, and a family on the edge of something beautiful, or something devastating. This is the moment everything changes. Heartland Boston 19 opens not with fireworks or grand entrances, but with silence, a kind of quiet that carries weight. The silence of a woman who has learned to survive after losing the love of her life. Amy Fleming is no longer the girl who once lived in the shadow of grief. She is a mother now, stronger, wiser, and wrapped in layers of pain that time never fully healed. The trailer wastes no time showing us that while the ranch has remained the same in many ways, Amy has not. She walks through the familiar fields with purpose, her daughter Lindy by her side, and a stillness in her expression that only heartbreak can carve. But even in that stillness, there's a sense that something is shifting. In one fleeting moment, the camera lingers on Amy as she gazes at a photo tucked away in a drawer, a picture of Ty holding Lindy as a newborn, a snapshot from a life that was stolen too soon. Her fingers brush the edge of the frame, and we feel it, the ache of a love unfinished. The episode sets the tone with haunting precision. It doesn't tell us Ty is coming. It doesn't have to. There's something in the air, in the way the horses behave, in the glances Lou throws toward Amy, in Jack's unusually quiet demeanor. Everyone senses it, though no one can explain it. It's the kind of buildup that pulls viewers to the edge of their seats without a single word. Meanwhile, Amy continues her day, moving through chores, guiding Lindy through her morning ride, and fixing a broken fence near the old barn. The barn, where so many of her memories with Ty live like ghosts between the wooden walls. When she enters it, there's a flicker in her, a hesitation. She pauses, glancing at the old workbench, the saddle Ty once used, the shelf where his tools still sit untouched. It's almost as if she's expecting something, though she would never admit it. It's in this quiet moment the heartbeat of the story begins. Viewers are left holding their breath because Heartland has never just been about horses or healing. It's been about love, loss, and the way both can live inside us at the same time. Amy's strength is undeniable, but so is her vulnerability. We see it in the way she smiles at Lindy, but her eyes remain distant. She has moved forward, yes, but some part of her still waits, still hopes, still wonders. And as night falls, the tone shifts. A storm brews in the distance, both literally and emotionally. Jack returns from town with a strange look in his eye. Lou checks her phone twice, seemingly waiting for a call. Katie walks past Amy's room and hears her softly talking to someone. But no one's there. The tension is building, and the trailer uses every second to heighten it. This isn't just any return. This isn't a soap opera twist. This is Heartland, and Heartland always delivers its most powerful moments through real, raw, emotional storytelling. Ty's return, hinted at in the shadows of this first section, is not just a miracle. It's a reckoning, a test of everything Amy has become and everything she thought she'd buried. The final moment of this section lingers on Amy, standing alone in the barn after putting Lindy to bed. A gust of wind creaks open the barn doors just slightly. She turns, listens. Her breath catches for just a moment. And then, nothing. Or so we think. The reunion is coming. But before that, the storm must arrive. And it's closer than anyone knows. The night stretches long and heavy over Heartland Ranch, but something feels different. It's not just the distant thunder rumbling across the open skies or the restless stirrings of the horses in their stalls. It's something deeper, quieter, like the land itself is holding its breath. Amy lies awake in bed, staring at the ceiling. The rhythmic ticking of the clock is the only sound in the room, yet her mind is far from quiet. Flashes of old memories play behind her eyes. Ty's smile, his laugh, the way he used to gently rest his hand on her back when they walked. It's not just grief anymore. It's a pull, something unspoken, something real. Downstairs, Jack sits by the fireplace, his cup of coffee untouched. His rugged face is unreadable, but the way he clenches his jaw tells us everything. He knows something. He's always been the soul of Heartland, stoic, wise, and rooted like the trees outside. But tonight, he looks like a man carrying a secret too heavy for words. When Lou joins him and asks quietly, "Have you told her?" he simply shakes his head. "Not yet," he replies. How do you tell someone that the dead might not be dead after all? At that very moment, Amy rises from bed, pulled by an invisible force. She steps outside, barefoot, wrapped in a flannel shawl, the wind brushing her hair. The ranch is dark, but the barn light flickers once. Just once. She stares at it, heart pounding. She knows that barn like she knows her own heartbeat. Every creak, every shadow, every scent of hay and leather is familiar. But tonight, it feels different. Like someone, or something, has returned. Inside the barn, the tension is almost unbearable. The silence is thick. Amy runs her fingers along the saddle rack, her breath trembling. Suddenly she hears it. Footsteps, slow, deliberate, not imagined, not a dream, real. Her body stiffens. She turns slowly, unsure of what she'll see, and then nothing. The barn is empty. The door creaks slightly in the wind. Her eyes scan the shadows, searching for a ghost that isn't there. She shakes her head, tries to laugh it off, but her hands won't stop shaking. She's not losing her mind. Something is coming, and she can feel it in her bones. Elsewhere on the ranch, Lou's emotions begin to unravel. In a powerful moment between sisters, Lou confronts Amy the next morning. "You've been acting like he's coming back," she says, her voice cracking. "I know you feel something, but you have to let go, Amy. For Lindy, for yourself." Amy doesn't respond immediately. She simply looks out the window at the barn, where the sun now gleams off the roof. "What if I can't?" she whispers. This section also brings us closer to Lindy, who begins asking questions that no one is ready to answer. She's older now and more aware. She knows her daddy is gone, but she also sees the way her mother's eyes drift off when she talks about him. One day, she finds a worn leather bracelet in a box. Ty's bracelet. She puts it on and asks, "Mom, if Daddy was here, do you think he'd remember me?" Amy's heart breaks all over again. "Of course, sweetie," she says, trying to steady her voice. "He would never forget you." The emotions are building, and the trailer shows brief flashes. Amy brushing a tear from her cheek, Jack looking at an old letter he never sent, Lou holding her phone as if waiting for a call she dreads. And in the midst of all this, a mysterious figure is shown walking a long dirt road toward the ranch. We don't see his face. We only see the boots, the slow stride, the dust rising around him. The music builds, the wind howls. Something, or someone, is coming. By the end of this section, the question isn't if Ty is returning. It's how, and why now. The trailer doesn't give us all the answers. It gives us tension, mystery, and the emotional weight of a family on the brink of something unimaginable. The past is knocking on the door of Heartland, and this time, it refuses to be ignored. It happens without warning. The sun is just beginning to dip behind the hills, casting long shadows across the land. The air is thick with the scent of dust, and the low, familiar sounds of the ranch settling down for the evening. Amy is alone in the barn, brushing one of the older horses, her motions steady but distracted. She hums softly, a tune Ty once played on his guitar. It's a habit she hasn't been able to let go of, even after all these years. And then, footsteps. This time, they're real, steady, human. Amy pauses. The brush in her hand goes still. Her heart stops, starts, then begins to pound. She slowly turns, expecting Jack, or maybe Lou. But what she sees takes the breath from her lungs. Ty is standing in the doorway. The light from the barn's hanging bulb falls just enough to illuminate his face. Older, a little more worn, but unmistakably him. His eyes meet hers, and in that instant, time doesn't just slow. It breaks. Amy doesn't move. She doesn't speak. She can't. Her body is frozen between shock and disbelief. Her eyes widen, her lips part, but no words come out. Her mind races, trying to make sense of what her heart already knows. He's here, alive, breathing, real. And Ty? He says just 2 words. I'm back. His voice is quiet, barely above a whisper, but it cuts through the silence like thunder. The words are heavy with emotion, years of longing, guilt, pain, and hope packed into a single breath. His expression is cautious, uncertain, as if he's afraid she might scream or collapse or worse, turn away. Amy doesn't do any of those things. She drops the brush, takes one trembling step forward, then another. Her lips tremble, her throat tightens, and tears fill her eyes. Still, she doesn't speak. Her face crumples under the weight of emotion, and finally she moves faster, crossing the barn in seconds and throwing herself into his arms. Ty catches her, and the moment they embrace, the silence shatters. Amy breaks down completely, sobbing into his chest, her hands clutching at his shirt like she's afraid he'll vanish if she lets go. Ty holds her tighter than he ever has before, his own eyes wet with tears he's tried to hold back since the moment he saw her. No music, no dialogue, just the raw sound of Amy's sobs and Ty's quiet, broken whisper. I'm so sorry. It's not a reunion filled with answers. It's a reunion filled with truth, pain, love, relief, grief, forgiveness, all of it crashing into them at once. There are no grand explanations yet, no long speeches or dramatic monologues. This is Heartland, and its power lies in its silence, in the way Amy clings to Ty, in the way Ty presses his forehead to hers, in the way they breathe each other in, as if trying to remember every detail, every scent, every heartbeat. Outside the barn, Lindy is playing near the corral. Jack sees the lights still on and walks toward the barn, but stops when he hears Amy's cries. He doesn't go inside. He doesn't interrupt. Instead, he stands in the dark, a tear rolling down his cheek. He knows. Inside, Amy finally steps back, just enough to look at Ty's face again. Her voice is barely there. How? She asks. One word, filled with 1,000 more. But Ty only shakes his head slightly, gently brushing her tear-soaked cheek. I'll tell you everything, he says, his voice thick. But first, I needed to see you. It's a miracle no one believed they would ever witness. Amy, the woman who lost everything, now stands in the arms of the man she never stopped loving. And yet, in the beauty of this impossible moment, a deeper question begins to stir. Where has Ty been all this time? And why? Has he come back now? This reunion is not the end of the story. It's the beginning. A beginning that promises secrets, revelations, and a journey that will test the very soul of the Heartland family. The sun rises on Heartland the next morning, but the light feels different. Softer, warmer, as if even the skies above the ranch understand that something extraordinary has happened. But this isn't a fairy tale. This is real life. And in real life, even miracles come with consequences. Amy wakes before the sun, wrapped in a silence that feels both comforting and terrifying. She reaches across the bed, instinctively, something she hasn't done in years, and this time, there's someone there. Ty sleeps beside her, his breathing steady, his arm loosely around her waist. For a moment, everything feels like it used to. Safe, whole, real. But then the questions come flooding in. Where has he been? Why didn't he come back sooner? Is he staying? Is he the same man she lost, or someone entirely new? Amy slips out of bed quietly and walks to the window, looking out over the land she's always known. Her heart is full, yet heavy. She got what she always wanted. But now, she's afraid to lose it all over again. The rest of the ranch is slowly waking up too, but nothing feels normal. Lou is the first to notice the change. She finds Amy in the kitchen, making coffee with trembling hands, her eyes distant. Amy says nothing. Lou doesn't push. She doesn't have to. The silence says enough. Then, as if drawn by instinct, Lou steps outside and heads toward the barn. That's when she sees him. Ty, standing near the fence line, the early light behind him, watching the horses move in the field. The same calm presence he always had. But Lou doesn't smile. Her heart skips a beat. not from joy but shock. Her breath catches in her throat. She whispers his name like it's a memory, like it's something sacred. He turns. Their eyes meet. For a long moment, neither says a word, and then Lou breaks the silence. "You're supposed to be dead." Ty nods slowly, his voice low. "I know." "What happened to you?" she asks, stepping forward. "Why didn't you come home?" "I couldn't," Ty answers. "I wanted to, every day, but it wasn't safe. Not for me, not for Amy, not for Lindy." Lou shakes her head, pain twisting her features. "You have any idea what you put her through? What we went through?" Her voice rises, thick with anger and betrayal. "You died, Ty. We buried you." Ty doesn't defend himself. He just stands there, letting her words hit him like punches he believes he deserves. Inside the house, Lindy hears raised voices. She walks toward the window, sleepy-eyed, clutching her stuffed animal. She sees her uncle and her mother's friend, because that's all Ty has been in the stories, standing in the yard. She stares at him curiously. Amy crouches beside her. "Sweetheart," she says gently, "do you remember the man I've told you about? The one who loved you so much?" Lindy nods. Amy's voice trembles. "He's here. He's really here." Lindy's eyes widen. "Daddy?" Amy swallows the lump in her throat and nods. "Yes, your daddy." The reunion between father and daughter is quiet, but earth-shattering. When Lindy walks outside and sees Ty standing there, she doesn't run. She stares, eyes wide, mind racing. She clutches her toy tightly and asks one simple question. "Are you my real dad?" Ty kneels down, emotion flooding his face. "Yes," he says, barely able to speak. "I'm your dad." There's a long pause. Then Lindy drops her toy and throws herself into his arms. The moment is pure, raw, and deeply healing. Amy watches from the porch, tears streaming down her face, her heart torn between joy and terror. She wants to believe this is real. She wants to trust the moment. But a part of her is still bracing for it to disappear. Later that day, the Heartland family gathers in the living room. Jack, Lou, Tim, Katie, and Amy, all staring at Ty, who finally begins to tell them the truth. He doesn't share everything, not yet. Only hints that there were threats, that he had no choice, that someone made sure the world thought he was gone, that the only way to protect Amy and Lindy was to disappear. The family is stunned. Some want answers, others want to forgive, but all of them feel the weight of what's been lost. Jack, usually the one who holds everyone together, speaks softly. "You've got a long road ahead of you, son, but you're here now. That counts for something." Still, the tension is thick. The silence between words says more than anything spoken. Trust must